Welcome back. In our last episode, or the first episode, you saw me changing on this battery and putting it in, and realizing that the battery that this car came with was really not that great, so we swapped it out to my other battery. The date code on this is 12 of 22, so she's a little old. We're in almost 26 now, so this thing's what, 4 years old. So unfortunately, these Walmart batteries, they don't really have a lot of longevity as compared to the old school batteries in the yonder days. So what we're going to do today, just to kind of clean this up, first of all, I want to show you a jump pack that I think will be beneficial to you guys to carry for the wintertime, or anytime really, because it will help you to actually charge just random things. If you're on the road, you can't haul one of those big battery packs. So what I want to show you guys is firstly taking a dead battery, getting your car to start on our jump pack. That's a lithium-ion jump pack, real nice and convenient. You can throw in your backpack, throw in your luggage, no issue there. And then we'll go through, and actually I went ahead and got a new rail for this to replace this busted rail, because we actually are missing the nut here, got stripped off. So we're going to change on that and put a new rail on here with new feet, new arms, and new bolts. And then we'll go ahead and swap in a new battery, which we got for the vehicle. So we'll go through and through that just as a good winter preventative maintenance tip, because as the cold weather happens, these batteries, if they're on their last legs, they do tend to fail after a period of time. So let's show you the jump pack first, and we'll go through that. So before we do that, I just wanted to show you real quick to show you that the battery is in fact dead. We're going to take our handy dandy voltmeter here. And since we're dealing with 12 volts DC, direct current, we're going to swap from our select tool on our Klein voltmeter here. We're going to swap it to DC. And then we will put our leads on the negative and the positive terminals here. Get a good connection there. And I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Let's get that set in there a little more tighter. All right, and that might be hard to see on the camera side there. Let me try to get this set in there. But we are looking at 1.23 volts. Not a healthy battery at all. And if you turn the ignition on, it's going to be dead. So just to show you that we are in fact having a dead battery. So let's go ahead and swap in our new power jump pack. Boom. This is a DBPower jump pack. This is actually lithium-ion, comes in a nice little case. Now, a lot of the jump packs actually have a compressor built with them. You can buy those, but for now, these work pretty well. So let's go ahead and open it up. So it comes with basically your leads here to put onto the battery. It comes with a USB-C charge cable. And then a handy dandy little case. Get these out of here. Now I already went ahead and charged this, so there's no need to charge it, but positive, negative right here. So we can go ahead and stab those onto the battery side here. This is our negative side, this is our positive side. Boom. I can get the leads on there, perfect. Now here is the tester itself. Comes in a nice little case. Boom, DBPower. And just in case you're wondering what model this is, they have different models. This is the Z07 model. This has the ability to, I think it's 5,000 amps is the delivery power of the device here. Let's just double check. Here's your instructions. And I think I saw somewhere in here. Anyways, it has also has a light on here. It has an SOS mode, not model, but a mode. And here we go. 5,000 amps peak right there. 12 volt, 5,000 amps peak. Perfect. So if you want to pick yourself up one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description there. Pretty handy little tool. So also has a light. You get two modes, power on. You can see that it's at 100%. And then our light, all you do is just hold the light button and it comes on. That's your steady light. And then there's your SOS mode and then steady blink. Actually, that's SOS. I think, yeah, that's SOS. So blinking, power on, etc. Nice feature here, if you did want to charge devices on the go, since it has a pretty large capacity battery, this is your charge port here with a USB-C, and then it's got two outs for your USB there. And then on this side, you have your out for the battery jump. So let's go ahead and put this on here and give her a whirl. You're just going to plug it in. It is port specific on here. So we'll go ahead and boom. And you can hear the battery on the car click on. Now, let's give it a whirl. We'll go ahead and jump in the car and kick her over. Now, it does have a time delay on it. It won't let you do it forever, but we have power on. Boom. Car starts. Nice and simple. Now there is a little bit of issue to this vehicle right now with the charging because that battery is so dead. It's having difficulties. I think our boom. So it just died. So that's basically, there's an alternator issue with this car. But I did want to just demonstrate the jump pack for you guys because I think that's a pretty cool tool to have in your arsenal. So obviously it does have a delay in this. It will turn off after a little bit of period of time, but just hit it back on. I have experimented with this since this car was having some issues the other day. I was able to jump this vehicle about 8 times before this thing was about 50%, but it was still jumping. So this can obviously do diesel engines too, so it's pretty powerful. They have different models. They have lower amperage and the higher amperage ones, but I'd recommend going with a higher amperage because more power is better. So let's go ahead and get this off of here, and then we'll go ahead and stab in the new battery. This is the battery that we're going with. Here is the new rail system that we're going to install and swap in versus the that other rail that's kind of corroded, busted and rusted. So I got a nice aluminum one with new posts and new hardware. These aren't that bad. There's different colors. I also have a red anodized one that I thought would be cool, but I think we'll leave that for a different project. Since this car is a silver RAV, I figure we go with the silver style unit here. Here's the battery. I went ahead and got an AGM. I've been slowly replacing all of my regular Walmart batteries with these AGM batteries because I've been pretty darn impressed with these. This is actually a WEIZE or WEIZE, however you say it, battery. This is in group 47. I went with a little bigger style, but it's maintenance free. Just for your records, this is the H5 QTF60 and does have 680 cold cranking amps, 100 amp hour reserve, and 60 amp hours. I'm not sure what those two numbers, I know the 60 amp hour should be the reserve, and I'm not sure what the 100 is. So either it's 100 amp hour reserve or 60 amp hours. I'm not quite sure. That seems a little redundant there. Here's the spec sheet on it for this. So again, AGM stands for absorbed glass mat versus the one we have in the car now, which is a flooded battery, flooded acid. Now again, this is still an acid battery. A lot of people have been going to lithium-ion batteries for vehicles. They're definitely a lot lighter. So if you're doing a lot of racing, you're weight conscious for your vehicle, that's probably a good alternative. I'm still a little skeptical of lithium-ion for some things today for battery technology. It still has some ways to go for lithium-ion for safety reasons. I'm sure you've heard a lot of reports in the news about, you know, just F-150 Lightnings blowing up and starting on fire, and Teslas and whatnot. So the technology is still a little ways to go, but AGMs, I would say, have a lot longer lifespan than the flooded acids. So I've had good success with these batteries, these WEIZE batteries. But here is the spec sheet on this for you guys to check out. It is 38.58 pounds. There's your dimensions, and 680 cold cranking amps. So this is less than the one that's in there. But again, I have put these on a couple of my trucks, and they work really, really well as far as giving the power that you need. So let's go ahead and get this in there and get the new battery, get the old battery out, and then we'll go ahead and get this new one swapped in. So let's go ahead and get these posts off. These are 10 millimeter here. So we'll get those swappered out. And then the post itself is also 10 millimeter. So looks like I grabbed an 8 as well. Oh, see? Barely hanging in there. So that's all corroded and rusty and nasty. And yeah, why not? Put new parts in. Out with the old, in with the new. So let's get the negative post off here. Oh, and then I don't think I really showed these on the last one, but these are anti-corrosion rings. These are pretty helpful to have. It just keeps the corrosion down on your battery posts. Because one thing that's odd about these RAV, this generation of RAV, which is what, a second generation, they have these, it's right below the windshield. You can see over here, it's got the, it's right underneath the wash shield. The vent obviously comes in here, but your windshield wiper blades and everything sits here under a cover. So any kind of water that comes down here just kind of sits right in this pool. So I think this isn't a very good design, but I suppose we could eventually relocate this battery to a different location, but what have you. So anyways, let's get this hunk of junk out of here. Yeah! End of you, whatever you are. All right, let's take this little cover thingy here. Now, while we're in here, we can see that this actually, interestingly enough, is kind of, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's actually on a post. It's actually welded in there, perhaps. Let's see. Let's get a little better look at that and see what we got going on here. So, probably not the most garage friendly, but we're just going to work this back and forth and just basically get that off of there. Since that's kind of rusted and welded. That is a really weird design. So I actually did have the clip on there, but you can see that metal's pretty jankety. So I think what we'll do, it's going to be fine to grab under here. If you wanted to be real thorough, you could actually clean this thing up here. But since it doesn't look all that rusted, I think we'll be all right. Put the tray back. I already cleaned the posts on the last install, so those should be fine. So let's go ahead and put our battery tray cover back in here. And before we stab the battery in here, let's go ahead and put in our new hardware. So here again is our new battery hold down thing here. This wasn't too bad. I think this was under 20 bucks on eBay, or eBay, as some may call it. So there you go. It comes with new hardware there. Let's kind of bring you over here while I undo this. Washers. There's the new aluminum, which is nice. It is aluminum. New posts there. So 2 new studs for that, and then it looks like it even comes with the little cap things there, which is pretty cool. So let's see, nuts, hardware, and even cover caps. So that's pretty cool. So we'll get that open there. Put all our hardware here. Keep it all organized. Okay. So we'll help ourselves out. We'll go ahead and put this guy in here. See, no issue. I didn't think we'd have any issue. Front one I'm not too worried about because we can get it from the front. So, all right. Swing you back over here. Perfect. So we got our new stud in here. Bam, bam, bam. Put our lead off to the side. Let's grab our new battery. One thing I like about these batteries is they've got a go handle. Boom. See? Go handle. Beautiful. Look how nice that looks in there. Covers, we'll leave those on for just a moment while we get this on. So I don't think we're going to have any issues. Look at how nice that looks compared to the old cruddy one. Fancy, fancy, fancy. And then we'll go ahead and get the post under here. Don't drop it. Not handy if you drop it. Sometimes doesn't go according to plan. And if there it is. So, two-handed operation here. Let's go ahead and put a nut on here. I'm already losing my washers. Probably shouldn't have set them there. We'll put a washer on there, and we'll put the wing nut on there just to hold it up while we're doing this. Boom, look at that. Perfecto. Kind of just slide her over a little bit. Like so. And let's get our other washer here. Okay, got the other washer. Stick that on there like so. And actually, interestingly enough, we even have a lock washer. So I'm going to put a lock washer and a washer on this post here. Okay. Zip down. Perfect. Like so. Nice. Okay. So since I put a lock washer on that side, let's put the lock washer on this side. That'll just keep us from having to deal with monkeying around with these coming loose. Lock washers just basically put a little upward pressure on the nut itself so it doesn't come undone. Keeps positive pressure on that. Okay, let's get this over just a skosh. Look at that. Now, please comment, let me know what you think. I really like this new battery tie-down holder because it looks really classy. Much better. It's aluminum. It's going to not corrode, rust as easily. You know, aluminum will still corrode, but boom, nice and tight. I give it a little jiggle. Little jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And then let's go ahead and put our caps on there. In fact, these are just a tickle long, so let's go ahead and just snip those down. Let me get my knife real quick. Well, let's actually just trim these down with some scissors. Boom. Look at that, look at that. Beautiful. Trim those up, put them on there on the posts. I could go just a little bit more there. Peachy keen. Look at that. Professional grade. Okay. So just to keep all your hardware together, go ahead and put it back in the baggie. Try to put good practice in and keep all your stuff together. This helps you in the long run when you're looking for things, labeling stuff, etc., etc. Now let's put the posts back on. Again, we already cleaned the posts on the last battery install here, so I think these will be good to go. I keep these, you know, you can throw them away. Sometimes I use them on other batteries. So let's go ahead and do our positive first. Now, this battery post is a little bit interesting, a little bit shorter, so it's going to take just a little bit of finagling to get that down in there. Oh, perfect. You know, snug those down, you know, not super tight, but definitely want them tight so they don't come undone. Interesting. That doesn't really seem to want to set in there. Aha. I think it's got to go down further. Well then. Well then. There we go. I just need a little bit of persuasion. Good. So perfect. And then I just give it a little wiggle, Make sure that's nice and tight. And bam. I already heard the car come on, so I think, ooh, I think we're cooking with gas here. Looks nice, nice and clean. Fresh new battery. Order of operation, I always put the positive on first. Oh, you know what we forgot, folks? You know what we forgot? You're probably yelling at me. Hey, guy, you forgot something. Yes, I did forget something. I forgot our corrosion rings, so let's get those on there real quick. Before I hook it up, let's take the positive back off. Just remember, if you do have the negative on and you're doing this with a live wrench, this is grounded and this will conduct. So don't be swinging and doing that with the positive, because you will arc. And if you got a lithium battery, that's one of the things I don't like about lithium batteries, is that they're not very forgiving when they arc. Watch some videos on that. It's pretty crazy. All right, I'm gonna red on there for positive. Get that snug down. Since we don't have the ground on, if I were to touch that anchoring post, the battery hold down, it would arc. But since I do the negative last, just to keep me honest, boom, nice and snug. All right, now we can put our negative on, and bam, car turns on. I hear it. So what we'll do here before we fire up the car, we'll just check our voltage. Make sure that's peachy keen. All right, give it a little tug. Everything's nice and secure. That is not going anywhere. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, clean up your tools. Make sure you don't have anything that's going to rattle when you fire up the engine. Bing, bang, boom. And real quick, let's check voltage on our meter here. And we'll get our tool up. We'll check our voltage. Now this thing will start yelling at you if you leave it on for too long. Again, we're going to set it to DC, direct current. And let's go ahead and check our voltage. And you can see we have, I don't know if you can tell, but we have 12 volts. I actually have that backwards. It will show you negative. Boom, 12 volts. Peachy keen. All right, let's give this girl a whirl. Everything's happy. Ooh. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Now, I won't have any of that load on the alternator, which will be good. So, you can hear it's nice and steady. Nice and steady on the engine here. No lagging. I do think we're going to need to replace this alternator at some point here. But I still am getting a light on the dash. But you can see it's holding nice current. Let's just double check here before we call it good. Let's just double check our voltage, make sure we're charging. So we're going to get our voltmeter back out here. Yeah, it sounds good. Because before it was shutting off, I just didn't think it had enough voltage. So, boom. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. What it does say is 14.43, 42, 43. Let's just see, watch it for a moment here. I'm holding the leads on there, holding a nice steady current right there. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think the alternator is really bad. I'm not sure why that light's coming on, but who knows? Hopefully that's just that's the issue with their charging. So, anyways, comment and like. Tell me what you think on this. Swapping out a battery, putting in the new AGM, putting on a new post, dressing up the battery area a little bit better, putting on our corrosion, anti-corrosion doodabbers. And yeah, I think that's a good little change. So this is a good maintenance tip for wintertime and anytime really if your battery's starting to go out. So anyways, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. I appreciate all your feedback, positive, negative, good and bad. And let me know if you guys want more videos on this, showing you how we do battery or just regular maintenance on vehicles. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.